Mr. Dave Berden, if you would come join me up here at the front. There you go.
Thank you. Can I have a pillow?
Yes.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's these are nice.
This is where I should probably.
Oh yeah, come on, you got to match.
Sure. No, you keep yours on.
Well, of course. See, I thought we were gonna both wear cardigans. Now I'm cold, so
There's a blanket.
There's a blanket.
Now, before I get to all of the deep and heavy questions, it's been a big year for you. Of course, the ongoing plans for Kaylee's wedding, and you became a grandfather this year, right?
You threw me off Kaylee's wedding, but okay, yeah. Grandfather, yes, yes.
You did, and let's take a look at this cute little thing. Who is that?
Oh, that's my grandson, Brooks. Brooksy, look at that. Oh.
Already has a nickname, Brooksy?
Yeah, Brooksy, yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. Oh, that's cute, thanks. That makes me smile.
Yeah. Kind of looks like you there.
A little bit right there. Yeah, actually, our baby pictures are quite similar.
Oh, you can see the similarity.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The big cheeks.
Well, so here's the first question. How are you enjoying being a grandfather?
Oh, I love it. My son lives in Guelph area, so I wish they were closer and I could see him every day. But he's just so precious and. Brooksy. Well, yeah, my son too, but yeah. And funny enough, it didn't really make me feel older. I just love it. It's awesome. So yeah.
Well, probably a bit younger too, because you get to do all of that fun stuff. Kaylee doesn't let you go tobogganing with her anymore.
No, I can't wait. It's like, okay, I love the baby stage and it's fun, but I'm hoping for the next stage where I can get into trouble with my grandson and have fun.
I'm sure that will quickly come.
Oh yeah.
Well, so thanks for sharing baby pictures with us. I always enjoy that. In the scripture lesson that we just read, the first followers of Jesus, they start with a simple question. Where are you staying? And it's easy to just jump over that question, to take for granted, oh, where are you staying? Well, Jesus must have someplace. I don't think it explains anywhere in the Gospels where Jesus lives, because there is no fixed address. I don't know how Jesus gets his mail. I don't know how he can process job applications, receive any social assistance, because I don't think he has a fixed address. So he's asked the question, where are you staying? His response is, come and see. And that, of course, is a way to get us into thinking about the issue of homelessness, living without shelter, without having a permanent address. So the first question is, what's the Homeless Action Committee? I know you're involved with. And then after you describe that, we'll get to what's the work that it's doing.
Sure. It's actually called the Middlesex County Homeless Action Committee. And it's basically right now, it's a group of, there's government employees from Middlesex County involved, and everyone, it's different agencies. So there's the Community Navigator, CMHA, Women's Rural Resource Center, YOU. There's a whole bunch of different agencies that have joined in. We all get together. Do you want me just to jump right into what we do?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been meeting for through the pandemic, and then right now we've been meeting more frequently, obviously. And what we do is we're coming together, trying to plan, and just kind of be a way to, number one, raise awareness of what homelessness is, that it actually is a reality in our little Strathroyan area, that it affects a lot more people than we understand. And also just on awareness of how different people and the needs. For example, there's a lot of elderly that need assistance in an apartment or a place to live that they can afford. So it just ranges from your homeless person right in the street to a person that's struggling to make ends meet. So we want to raise awareness on all of that. And number two, we want to advocate for anybody coming into this saying, I want to do something, how can I do this? So we want to come up with ideas, and because right now there's nothing in Strathroy for adults, male especially, and youth, and we want to advocate and come up with ideas that we can say to our council and our mayor and to the county and say, hey, look, we need to do this, this is why. So this is what we're doing.
For the Homeless Action Committee, there are a number of people sitting around that table, some who are governmental, some who are part of agencies, non-governmental agencies. And I heard you describe the work that you're doing as first raising awareness for not just people in the county or the area, people who are decision makers, raising awareness. I hear you saying that you're doing assessment. What's the need out there? How do we understand the nature of the need?
Correct.
And then you mentioned advocacy. Just what are we going to do about this? And it's, I think I hear you saying it in general about anyone who's precariously housed, like it's the housing crisis.
Or in danger, correct. Yeah.
So what's the most pressing work right now? What is the next piece of work that's on your agenda or that you want to tell us about?
So right now, well, obviously we're in the middle of January, and I don't know if anybody remembers the storm right at Christmas. Well, there were people outside trying to live in that. So that's the pressing need. And right before Christmas, we experienced a youth, 16-year-old, who had nowhere to go, and we did the best we could, but that youth lived in the woods for 2 weeks in the end of October, November, which it was getting very cold. And for a 16-year-old living by themselves in the middle of the woods, that's not safe. It's not acceptable. So we with the other agencies worked very hard. We gave them everything we could to survive, but we still didn't have a safe place for them to stay. So that became a huge alarm bell, red flag that we need to do something. So our objective right now is to try and to do something this winter as fast as possible, which is a really hard thing to do. Things don't move quickly. And then in conjunction with the mayor, that came to us and said, look, we want to do something too, and we want something this winter as well. Basically, the mayor told me, he said, I don't want anybody freezing to death on my street. So we came up with the idea of a warming center for youth and for adults, and a quick, fast method that we could do it. And we came up with a model, and now we're in the process of trying to come up with the funds for it to be able to do it. Long term, we're also working on.
Before you move to the long term,
yeah.
I think like right now, if I hooked up a blood pressure cup to your arm and maybe a heart monitor to you, we'd see things starting to spike. I hear the frustration in your voice, and especially when I heard you say, it takes so long. Things move quickly.
Oops.
This winter, we need to do something. Last winter, we need to do something. The winter before that, we need to
Yeah.
do something. On leading up to Christmas Eve, 402 is shut down, and immediately something happens. We have
Oh, you're pushing buttons now.
Gemini. And you're a diplomatic person, so I'm not going to ask you to respond to this, but this is why I lose friends. But I can only imagine how frustrating it is for you to be advocating year after year, winter after winter, to try and move the dial a little bit, and then you see in an instance a plan come together to provide emergency shelters so that another category of people are protected from the cold.
Yes.
So you don't need to comment on that. I'm going to comment
Thank you.
on it. So I interrupted you.
No.
You were about to say something else that you're in the middle of doing.
So long term, we've been working on this for a long time. Let me first add your help last year. You guys were number one team.
We were what?
This is why you lose friends, Brad. You were number one team, and your team raised $7,000, didn't you?
It was so much I couldn't.
Oh, stop.
I forget.
You should come to lunch with us. It's great. Anyway, you guys raised so much money, and I wanted you guys, number one, thank you so much. Number two, with that money, we moved that dial another step. Yes, it's slow, but it's opening eyes. People are asking questions, and it is starting to move, including the mayor, right? They came to us, which was huge. And we have been able, with the money from last year, to do a lot of good work over the year. And I have tons of stories. Come talk to me. But we're also able to hire a child and youth worker in preparation for the warming center or the crash beds, which we are going to get going next year.
What is a crash bed?
So a crash bed is simply a place to stay overnight it's a mattress or a bed or of safety and supervision that they can sleep. A warming center is a chair, a place to stay warm. Even though it's overnight, it's not a bed. So there is a difference. Obviously, a bed is preferable, but the politics and the rules behind a crash bed are way more extensive as soon as you throw a mattress on the ground as opposed to I'm sitting in a chair.
For a social kind of.
It's a social gathering considered, whereas a shelter is something a whole different thing. So,
Unless the 402 shuts down. It is, and again, I'll say some other stuff that you don't have to comment on. It's tempting to think that as our municipal and county governments respond to this issue, that they're responding to help you in your work, as opposed to seeing it how it should be the other way around, that we at the grassroots are helping our government get motivated to do something about an issue about citizens. I'm going to go to the next slide so that you don't have to comment on that.
okay.
So here's a picture of you, and it's Colleen bundled there beside you, right?
Yeah.
Colleen Wendell.
Yes, one of my volunteers.
Yeah,
She's amazing.
I remember that night showing up and giving you some food, and Colleen was sitting there content, and you were whining and complaining
That sounds about right.
the whole time. But what is this? What's the coldest night of the year?
So the coldest night of the year is a fundraiser and awareness piece. We come together and we walk, run. We have a route. It's a lot like the cancer walk, where you gather in a team. You have a captain. You raise funds, pledges, and then you come out February 25th. at 5 o'clock across the nation. So it's not just us. There's 200 locations raising money for homelessness, hunger, and poverty, and hurt, and then
Strathroy, Caradoc, 37 Frank.
right. It all goes to us in Strathroy, and then we walk in support of that. So yeah, and we all walk at 5 o'clock at the same time across the country. It's really neat.
So Coldest Night of the Year, that's the event that we placed
First in, yeah. I'm surprised you forgot about that. Yeah, you guys placed first. Yeah.
So what do we got to do to participate again this year?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You guys, just all you need is a captain, and you go online. There's a beautiful website, and if it's very easy, and if you have any difficulties, we can walk you through it, no problem. And we also give you all the information you need. And you just captain the team, get it on the website, and then you just have people join you, and then you basically go around and you ask people to either join you to walk or can you donate. And what's really cool is, if you think about it, if you have one team with 7 people and you each raise $200 or so, I mean, it's very quickly you're into the $2,000 range just for one team. So, which is amazing. You guys raised $7,000. Like, that was amazing.
Yeah, well, Patty Barada did a lot of...
Patty, yes.
And she's no longer on the team, so we're looking to fill that gap. So the Coldest Night of the Year walk is February the 25th.
Right.
Are you going to stay out all night before then?
Yes, that's exciting. So that picture is actually not the Coldest Night of the Year walk. It's another night. We stayed out all night to raise awareness and also just to put ourselves in their shoes. So we stayed all night. We're doing it again this year on February 7th. It's the Tuesday. It's either 7th or 8th. Sorry, my mind's...
You're a grandfather now.
I'm grandpa, yeah. Thank you, 7th, my daughter. 7th, we're going to stay out all night. Now, here's the cool thing is people have caught on and are excited to do it. So My FM, I'm challenging them, and they're going to come out and they're going to do radio all night long. And I think there's going to be a challenge out to the mayor to come out and stay all night long.
Well, and now's your chance, because we'll live stream this, and if you just say it into the camera right now, I'll make sure it gets distributed.
Well, I know that there's somebody else that was planning on challenging them, so I'm going to challenge. I'm just going to challenge business leaders and people who want to. Anybody that wants to say, why don't they just go get a job? I challenge you. I'm not angry. I challenge you to come out and spend the night with me out in the cold. And yes, you will whine. And you will complain, and I don't want to do it again. I really don't.
Because it took you, all joking aside, it took you more than a day to recover from doing that.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And the whole time I was out there, I knew in my head and in my heart I had a home to go to, and I couldn't wait. I can't wait to get home to my family. I couldn't wait to get home to my warm bed. Can you imagine for just a second that you don't have that? That you're going to do this night after night after night, find a place to survive, be out in the cold, find a place to maybe find some food. So you can imagine what that does to your heart and to your head mentally. So then in that morning, I'm going to challenge all those people to think about, now you've got to do this night after night, but now you got to get up and go to a job interview. Now you got to go and apply to some jobs instead of going to bed, to your warm bed, right? So you think about the exhaustion, the mentality of survival in the cold. You're not just going to go get a job, right? So that's what I want people. I challenge them to come out and see that for real and feel that. That's where, yeah. And I've never felt, even though I had Colleen sitting beside me, I've never felt more vulnerable or more lonely, until you showed up.
You eventually did recover, and then
yes.
For a couple weeks afterwards, when you did have the event, here's some pictures from the walk. I think this is you dividing the crowd into two for two-part harmony singing. Is that you, John? Is that you, John LaRock, in the toque there? It looks like you. Yeah, I think that's you. There was a great turnout for it, and what were some of the things that happened on that day?
It was an amazing day. We had 30 teams, and because of COVID, we didn't actually have a scheduled walk. It was if you wanted to come down, you could, or you could do your own thing. So we had lots of people show up. We had Domino's Pizza at the end. This year, we're going to close Frank Street down. This year's this actual scheduled walk, which is a route downtown. And we're going to have festivities beforehand and awareness, and all the agencies are going to come out. And hopefully we have a question Q&A with the Homeless Action Committee.
Might have the feel of like an open market.
Yeah, open market festival kind of thing. And then at 4 o'clock it all ends. We get ready. We do a few speeches, which I'm doing here. The two of me there, that's pretty cool. I like that. I feel like sometimes I have to be two places at once. It's like, anyway. And then we're going to all walk together at 5 o'clock. So our goal is for 50 teams. And if, let's say that could be 200 of us all walking down with matching toques all downtown. Now that would be cool.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
In the scripture passage we read, it ends with the person we know as Peter meeting Jesus for the first time and getting the name Peter. There's this idea in the gospel that's being communicated that an encounter with Christ is going to change you, it's going to transform you. So my question for you is, how has God changed you through your ministry at 37 Frank and these various projects related to it?
Great question, and I can answer it immediately. In 1 John, he says, God is love. And if you love, you know God. The power of love, the power of God, I've seen transform. And there's no doubt in my mind anymore. There may be walls, it may be a slow climb, but the power of love and compassion, I just see win and win and win and open. And God has shown me that. So when I do get frustrated, when I do get angry, I realize that to love and to have grace means so much more, and to just keep moving and keep loving and keep walking. And so it's given me endurance, it's given me patience, and yeah.
A change of heart.
Change of heart, absolutely. And just realizing how much love matters. And not just love for our family, but just love for our common just human beings, just love. Yeah.
I want to thank you for taking time to, don't go away yet, to be with us this morning. And a reminder, anyone who is interested in being on our team, maybe you're sitting here and you're thinking, you know what, I've got the time and the energy to be the captain of the team. Let's huddle afterwards. I'll be shaking hands and stuff, but Dave, if you want to just start talking with people.
Yeah, can I add one thing? I forgot. If you are unable to walk, there still is the component they've kept from COVID time. You can do whatever you want. So we have people that are actually going to spend that time of the walk. They can't walk, but they're going to pray, or they're going to do lazy boy burpees or something. Yeah.
Other ways to participate. I want to, on behalf of the congregation, give you our first team contribution towards the. I feel like we should like hold it together and like smile for a camera that isn't there. But this is our first commitment to this. And it's also to help make up for the fact that last year we managed to get Dave's aunt to contribute to our team rather than to Dave's team. So all those little things. So this is just, it'll be okay, Dave.
It's okay. She loves me. It's okay.
Handshake, and let's show our appreciation for this work.